Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for coming this nice day to hear a little bit about what you can do on your computers or your smartphones or other things. And I'm going to emphasize two of what I consider the most important ways to travel the universe vicariously on your computers or your smartphones. These are the two that I'm talking about. Stellarium and worldwide telescopes are two different apps, computer programs, whatever you want to say. They operate on very many platforms like your phone, your tablet, even your smartphone or your smart television sets sometimes. I've tried it out on most of them. Stellarium is the one I recommend mostly for your phones because it's the simplest and easiest to use. Even so, it's not all that easy, so we're going to try to go through it with you today and teach you a little bit about what I've learned about using each one of these programs. There's a plethora of online virtual telescopes available to you. This is just a partial list of some of them.
Wow.
I put the Stellarium and the Worldwide Telescope on the bottom of the list, along with our own celestial origin in the SRC Observatory. It can be used as an online or virtual telescope. Your steering committee is working hard to be able to do that for you, but we're still a little bit short and a little bit have a few reliability issues in order to do that. Okay, what is Stellarium? These are pretty busy slides, so I won't bother you about reading all of them. But what I am going to do is to show you how to use them by connecting up my own iPhone. Very cheap. The cheapest iPhone you could have bought is no longer available, but well, right off the bat, we're in trouble. Oh, there it is. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, just below the first row, is the app on my phone called Stellarium. And when I tap on that, this is what comes up. This is a map of the current sky, or not the current sky, but the sky at 7:04 this evening. It fast forwards in time, but by simply tapping on the time, you can change it to any time and date you wish to look at the stars. And so I haven't tried it yet, but it may be even possible to go back to Halley's Comet. I don't know.
Directions there, Dick, Richard?
I'm sorry?
We see Saturn, Venus, and Uranus, but does it show you the direction like south, north, east, west?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, that's
deal on that. All you do to change this is to pinch it in and out,
yeah.
and you can, and as you get closer, and then use your finger to move around the sky. and wherever, you can see that some of the constellations here are shown, so you can orient yourself to the sky if you know where individual constellations are.
Can you go from Orion to Orion, for example?
Yes. Let's see. Well, one of the easiest ways to go to Orion is to click on the search button
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
and simply, whoops, you have to be able to know how to spell, but
Water.
back it up.
There you go.
There's Messier 42, which many of you may know as Orion. And by pinching in and moving around, you can go closer and closer and closer. And down at the very bottom, you can see the name of the nebula. By simply scrolling that up, you can see a nice picture. You can't expand that picture, but and see all the information about the Orion Nebula. It's just that easy. You can go anywhere. Like I say, this whole thing by pinching down, you can see the whole sky, north, south, east, and west. And anytime you wish to look at anything and as you go in closer and closer, more and more individual things show up. Since we were in the region of the Orion, it's still holding there. You can see Betelgeuse and the other stars nearby.
Does it give you information on Betelgeuse, for example?
Yes, it does. Let me show you how to do that. Tap on, just put your finger on Betelgeuse. It comes right up, and it shows you a complete description of what it is. But in addition, at the very bottom of this description is a link to Wikipedia. So you can just tap on Wikipedia and you go directly to the information on the Wikipedia webpage that shows all about Betelgeuse. So this is a very powerful thing to be able to observe and find out data on the anything you wish to see in the sky, from any position in the sky, or from any position on Earth, because I've already set it back up to show the sky at the time, at 1904, from Pleasanton. So that's exactly what you're going to see if you go out at 7:04 and look into the sky. But in addition, there's another great feature of this program, which is something that all you need to do is to bring your iPhone and point the back of it to the sky, the camera, so that the camera points to the sky. And if you point at, now you can see it moves as I move my iPhone up, down, back, and forth. You can do the same thing here and tap on it and find out what is going on at that position. So Stellarium is a very useful thing for even casual observers of the night sky, and it's extremely useful. Let me give you a brief idea of how to get it.
Yeah. Hey Dick, quick question.
Sure.
if you want to look up just a category of astronomical things, can you do that? Like if you wanted to see exoplanets or double stars or a general class of things, can you do that?
Stellarium won't do that, but as we get farther into this talk this morning, Worldwide Telescope is extremely useful for that purpose. So if you just hang with me, we'll be talking about Worldwide Telescope in just a few minutes. But you need to go to your, wherever you get your apps, and just do another search and start with the first few letters. Stellarium. There we go. Now you'll see a number of different online star maps which you can choose from. Many of these are paid, you have to pay to download them, but Stellarium is absolutely free. And the nice thing about it is there's no ads even, like a lot of games that you may use your phone and computer for. You don't have to, you don't get any ads. So all you, if you haven't loaded it, since this is already loaded, the Stellarium mobile is, all I have to do is type open and it started. But if you don't have it, it'll be get here, and you can just get it. And like I say, it's absolutely free, and there's no ads or, and as far as I know, it's perfectly safe as far as cybersecurity is concerned. I've been using it extensively without any problems having people find out about it and email me about something that I didn't want to know about anyway. So it's not harmful in the least, as far as I know. There may be some way in the future that our hackers will be able to take care of that, but there's nothing that you need to do other than download it and get started anytime you're interested. Let's go back to the PC here, if I can see my...
Working in the dark. You want lights on?
That would help, yes, thank you. There we are. Okay, you can see there's a star map of over 600,000 stars, 80,000 deep space objects, like galaxies and nebula. And it's an interactive tool for computers, smartphones, and tablets. And like I say, the brightest objects are labeled as you go in, and as you get closer and closer, more and more of those come. So, and like I say, you can use it automatically to identify and find objects. So that's Stellarium. Any more questions about Stellarium?
It seems like it has way too many stars. I remember as a kid reading there were like 6,000 stars visible to the naked eye, and that'd be a dark sky area. Here it's probably several dozen.
Yes.
Dick, when you load it to your phone, does it know where you are by GPS?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And like I say, it knows when you're looking down at it so that you can scroll around the sky, or when you point it upward, it knows that you're looking at the sky and shows that image too. So it's extremely user-friendly in that respect.
If you don't have an iPhone, you probably have to go to Google Play to get the app.
That's right. The Google Play, or as I say, it is available also on Windows, and I didn't test it on Mac, but it,
Stellarium, I've used it.
since it's basically a web operation, that's another thing I should point out, that what I'm showing here is the app that I downloaded on my iPhone, but you don't even need to download it. All you need to do is do a Google search on Stellarium, and you can go to a web version, which allows you to do all this within your web browser. So it's extremely flexible in that respect. Well, I thought that I had had this whole astronomy thing figured out until I stumbled upon Worldwide Telescope by accident. Worldwide Telescope is also a free and online platform offering immersive photos of the sky with millions of celestial objects. Again, it's available on iPhones. You'll see why it's difficult to use on an iPhone a little bit later, but it does wonderfully on particularly Windows computers because it was originally developed by Microsoft. But it also runs very ably on Mac computers, and to a more limited effect on your tablets or your iPhones. It's been around since nearly 2002, which was developed by Microsoft Research, I'm sure, just to sell more Windows computers. But the point is that it's extremely valuable. In the early teens, it was taken over by the American Astronomical Society and supported by the Harvard University Astronomy Department and GitHub to remain free and useful for everybody to use. And when I say everybody, it means not only people like us who are amateur astronomers, but the actual professional astronomers and astrophysicists who use this regularly to analyze data and actually produce published reports. The images you can see within Stellarium are all visual images. There are no other capabilities. But in Worldwide Telescope, you have the gamut of all the types of telescopes that can be used, including radio waves, X-rays, gamma rays, visible, infrared, the whole gamut. And over 200 telescopes. One of the things I say is that Worldwide Telescope is really a misnomer because it's not worldwide, it's solar system wide. Because it takes images from almost all of the space satellites as well as almost all of the publicly supported terrestrial microscope or telescopes, and puts the data within reach of a wide range of people. Well, you might say why you want to do all of this. It is a little difficult to operate when you first see it. The menus are extremely large, but I look at it as you can see short presentations by professional astronomers about space topics called tours. You can be amazed by the beautiful images created by the observatories in both Earth and space. And if neither of those appeals to you, you can be certain that it will be used for our future astronomy club meetings as a resource to supply data to you every month when you come to see our presentations by internal SRC residents. You may even find it from some of our outside presenters too, because as fabulous as this is to be used on computers and tablets and iPhones, it's also used for planetariums. And a number of planetariums around the country use it regularly to produce the planetarium programs that they provide the public. Okay. Rather than run you through all the steps on how to do it, it's all listed here, but I'm going to switch now to show you a little movie about how to use it. So let me do that.
Looks like the top one.
Bear with me a moment.
Yeah, that's the video.
So this is the worldwide telescope, and you can click and drag your mouse around to look at stuff. You can see that's the Orion constellation. You can scroll in with your mouse wheel to look at stuff more closely. And if you hover over things, it'll show you, oh, this is the star. I can also right click to see more clearly. Alnitak. That's Alnitak. And I can close that. I can scroll in some more and see, oh, here's the Horsehead Nebula. And then down here is the Orion Nebula. Now, if you look down here, there are different images that pop up. So here's a better picture of the Orion Nebula. So some cool things that you can see with the worldwide telescope, just a whole collection. We've got the Orion Nebula. Here's a couple of colliding galaxies, called mice. Here's a galaxy cluster, the Abel Galaxy Cluster. These are all galaxies. Here's the Cat's Eye Nebula. This is a planetary nebula. It's from a star that's in its last throes of existence, so it's throwing off gas, and the gas is heated. That's causing this. Here's a interesting galaxy, a companion galaxy that's spinning around. Here's the Crab Nebula. This is a remnant of a supernova. And if you wanted to see, okay, what does that look like without this picture, there's this image crossfade down here, and you can take that off and see, oh, okay, that's what it would look like in regular photography if you didn't get a really nice image with the Hubble telescope. Another cool thing you can do is if you're hovering over an image and you do that right click and you see, okay, supernova remnant, Crab Nebula, you can click on this research button, and you can look up on Wikipedia. And so it'll go to Wikipedia, and you can read all about the Crab Nebula.
I'm sorry about the
Really cool.
quality here.
Come back, close that. let's look at the menu along the top here. So if we look in the Explore section, there's a Getting Started section, Worldwide Telescope homepage. There's also these collections. So there's these collections that come with the Worldwide Telescope, Hubble studies, planets, moons, cures, the planet and moon studies. We'll get into planets and moons later, but we can look at Venus. Oh, we're too close to it. There we go, Jupiter. You can also make your own collection. So here's some of my collections. I have a collection of colliding galaxies. So here's these two. I'm not sure these are actually colliding. They might just be, this one is in front of that one. But this one is definitely a colliding galaxy. You can see that they've disrupted each other. Here's the Seyfert's Sextet. So this is 6 or 7. I think it's 6 galaxies. Some of them are just behind, but there are a few that are actually colliding here. I also have a collection of, let's see, planetary nebula. Here's the Cat's Eye Nebula again, Ring Nebula, Eskimo Nebula. So it's pretty cool that you can make your own. Basically, you find something that's interesting, and you can right-click on the thumbnail, and then say Add to Collection, and then you can create a new collection and say Cool Stuff #2, and now, oh, it doesn't like that character. Cool Stuff 2. And now it's created a folder, and I can add stuff to, let's see, there's cool stuff too, and I can add stuff to that folder. So another thing you can do is use the search area. So you hit search and then come over here. Let's say we want to look for Andromeda. And there's, and you can double click and there's the Andromeda galaxy. You can, now, if I zoom out a little bit, different objects show up here in my field of view, interesting objects. And as I hover over these, you can see that it shows me where on the big map these objects are. I've been doing double clicking, but if I do a single click, then it kind of slowly pans in, which is kind of neat. Though a little too slow for my taste. Now I can zoom in some more. Now there's no fancy picture for this one, but you know, it is a galaxy. So another thing we have are guided tours. These are created by, mostly by astrophysicists and astronomers. So here are tours of supernova, and so we can click on the Crab Nebula tour, and then that's going to begin a tour where somebody's going to be talking and explaining things about what we're seeing.
I'll show you another one of those later.
If I hover up here, at any time I can pause the tour, and it's,
TV talk at the same time.
I'm interrupted in the middle of the World Wide Web, and I can look around a little bit, and then say, okay, now let's continue the tour. So that's pretty cool. You can also design your own tours if you want. That's a little bit advanced. I'm not going to go over that. Over here is View, and here you can set your location. I've set my location to where I am in Verona, Wisconsin, and I can click View from this location. And now, if I go down a little bit, it's going to show you. Show the horizon? I think it shows the horizon eventually. I'm too zoomed in. There we go. There's the horizon. And so if I actually...
The little blue bar at the bottom
this
shows
me
the
what
limit of the
direction I'm
horizon.
looking in. So I'm looking south right now. You can see if I pan over, now I'm looking south. So if I, right now it's light, but if it was dark out and I looked directly south, these are the constellations I would be looking at right now. This is the real time, and this tells me what constellation I'm looking at right now. Looking at Pisces Austrian, I think it says. And then if I want to get rid of the horizon, I can just click that, and now I can see what's beneath the horizon. So these are layers over here. If I don't want to see, for instance, these constellations, I can turn those off. Click here, and now the constellations disappear. The stars are still there, just the outline goes away. Okay, let's look at something else. So right now we are looking at the sky. And there's different things you can look at here. And we're looking at the digitized sky survey color. So this is looking at the visible spectrum. We could look at different spectrums. Here's the radio spectrum. And so this is picking up radio waves. And so let's find something interesting to look at. Here we go. What is this? A black hole-powered jet of electrons, subatomic particles streaming from the center of galaxy M87. So that's what's giving up radio waves. There's infrared. That's kind of interesting to look at. Let's see. Here we go. Interesting to see the center of the galaxy in infrared. We can look at it in ultraviolet. That's kind of weird. We can look at X-rays. And what is this? Is that the same thing I was looking at before? Nope. There's something else. Supernova remnant. So we're looking at a supernova remnant. All right. We can look at gamma rays. There's the Milky Way in our galaxy. Looking at gamma rays. Yeah, so that's different wavelengths you can view the universe with. That's pretty cool. We can go take a look at Earth. And then with the Earth, you could also, say, look at the night sky on Earth. That's pretty neat. See what it looks like at night. We can switch over to planets. So here's the sun. And Mercury, kind of boring. Let's look at Jupiter. And we can zoom in on the big spot. We can look at Io, which I think is a lovely moon of Jupiter's. And anyway, then we can switch over to Panorama. So this is the Apollo 12 landing site. When we landed on the moon, they took a panorama. And so here is our spaceship on Apollo 12 on the moon. And we can go look at, say, the Pathfinder mission on Mars. Let's see. And here are pictures. Looks like they're all overlaid. And so we see the Pathfinder in several different places as we scan around. So that's cool. Here's where we landed. Oh yeah, and then the solar system. So now we can view our solar system, look at it from different viewpoints. So right now it comes with the asteroids off, but we can toggle the asteroids on, and that I think is pretty neat looking. This is Jupiter right here, and Jupiter has a bunch of asteroids in front of it and following it in what are called Lagrange points, and they stay in place basically. All right, so and this is the asteroid belt. What else? Oh, and then what we can do is we can speed up the time. Right now, the planets are moving around, but they're moving really slowly from our perspective. So we click on this and we can start speeding it up. And the more times we click, you see it's 10 times as fast. Now it's 100 times as fast. 1,000, 10,000. And we still don't see much. Let's do 100,000. Now you can start to see them creeping around. Let's do 100,000 times as fast, and now you can actually see some movement. Now I could speed this up even more. What happens is, if I speed it up too much, these are no longer going to be in the Lagrange points, because the orbits of these are now being calculated, and the faster I speed this up, the worse the calculation of these orbits. So, but let's go ahead and speed it up anyway. And now if I pause it, you can see that they're definitely all skewed about and not in the Lagrange points at all anymore. But that's pretty cool. And if I want to see, bring it back to now, just click on that. Now everything is back where it should be. Also from this vantage point, I can switch between, let's go look at Jupiter, Saturn. Oh, there we go. Saturn with its rings. Lovely. Zoom in. Here's our moon. Take a look at our moon. So I think that's about it. Take a look at a galaxy cluster. There's so many amazing things in the universe, and I've just spent hours exploring this, looking around. It's fun, and then you can play the tours. So I think that's going to do it for.
Sorry about the breakup of those videos. Unfortunately, that's the first time I've ever seen that bad a breakup, and I'm not quite sure what causes it. Possibly it's the transfer from the PC to the screen, but the screen is also showing that breakup. So I'm a little reluctant to show another of the videos that I've recorded, but instead I'm going to go ahead and open up the Worldwide Telescope and demonstrate myself a little bit about what's going on. Maybe these will be less dynamic in the aspect of fast moving frames, and that'd be easier to see. And I wonder if we've lost internet altogether.
That was a still picture. Yeah.
I tested this out before I started, and it was up in the 200 and 300
That 187.
speed, and I thought that was going to be, the speed seemed to be fine. So let's give it another shot. Here we go. I don't know what this is. What did I do? Okay, here we are in Worldwide S. And one of the things I was going to mention is the fact that you can look at these menus, and you can see they're extremely complex, both top and bottom. Makes it a little more difficult to operate. One of the easiest ways to get a idea of what's going on is to do one of the guided tours. So we're going to try that and see if it produces a little bit better. This demonstrates some of the capabilities as far as having professional astronomers in astrophysics give us information about the
Hello,
universe.
I'm Michael Bakich, Senior Editor of Astronomy Magazine. Welcome to this worldwide telescope tour brought to you by Astronomy Magazine and Microsoft. For this tour, I'll take you through 7 great galaxies. Amateur astronomers love galaxies. They're about the farthest objects we can see, and millions exist in lots of different shapes and combinations. Because most are faint, you'll need to observe under a dark sky to spot details in even the brightest. Our first target is the sky's most famous galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy, also known as M31. On a clear night from a dark site, most observers can spot the object with just their eyes. No binoculars or telescope needed. M31 looks like a piece of our Milky Way that broke off and is lying to the side. Actually, the Andromeda Galaxy is a gigantic object that resembles the Milky Way. Both the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy are spiral galaxies that contain some 400 billion stars. As we zoom in on one of M31's arms, we begin to see one of its superstar clusters, a group of hot, blue stars which has formed only recently. Astronomers gave the Andromeda Galaxy its name because it lies in the constellation Andromeda the Princess. According to legend, Andromeda was the princess rescued from the sea monster Cetus by the hero Perseus. In the nearby constellation Triangulum sits our second great galaxy, the Pinwheel Galaxy, also known as M33. Although the Pinwheel Galaxy puts out enough light to equal a naked-eye star, it's hard to see because it's so big. M33's light spreads out, and that gives it a low surface brightness. Like the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy, the Pinwheel Galaxy is a spiral galaxy. In fact, just about all of the sky's most impressive galaxies are spirals. In this close-up shot, you can see star-forming areas in M33's arms. Such new stars are common in spiral galaxies. Now, let's head toward the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper is not a constellation, but rather part of the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear. Here, just above the Dipper's handle, sits M101, a beautiful spiral that lacks a common name. You'll need at least an 8-inch telescope to pull details out of this cosmic propeller because it covers an area 3/4 the size of the full moon. Just under the Dipper's handle is the small constellation Canes Venatici, the hunting dogs. And it's in Canes Venatici that you'll find another great galaxy, the Whirlpool Galaxy, or M51. Even through a small scope, the Whirlpool Galaxy won't disappoint you. Its tight spiral arms give it a surface brightness greater than larger galaxies. The bright knot just above M51 in this image is a smaller companion galaxy named NGC 5195. We head south for our next great galaxy. In Hydra, the water snake, the sky's largest constellation, sits the Southern Whirlpool Galaxy, or M83. Many amateur astronomers rate M83 the finest barred spiral visible to northern observers. It's a barred spiral because its arms start not from the core, but from both ends of a luminous bar of stars and bright nebulosity. Be sure to observe M83 when it stands highest in the sky. As we move back toward the north, to Ursa Major, I'll point out a pair of galaxies that completes our Great Seven. Bode's Galaxy, M81, and the Cigar Galaxy, M82. Through a telescope eyepiece combination that gives a field of view of about 1 degree, you can spot both of these objects. Start increasing the magnification and center M81. Look for a really bright core, a less bright region around it, and faint spiral arms. Then, move north about ½ degree to spot M82, the only one of our 7 galaxies that's not a spiral. Astronomers classify M82 as a starburst galaxy, one where massive amounts of star formation is occurring. M81 and M82 give you a good way to compare galaxy surface brightnesses. Examine them both through your low-power eyepiece. Although they appear equally bright, M82 actually shines a magnitude and a half fainter. I hope you enjoyed this tour. Be sure to explore all of our current worldwide telescope astronomy tours and check back often because we'll be creating lots more.
As a matter of fact, there are over 200 of them on this app. Now you can see I'm scrolling in and out with my scroll wheel on my mouse, and over here you can see the field of view. Unfortunately, for this particular program, we can't see the whole sky all at once. We can only see 60 degrees of the whole sky. But one of the things that I like to do is to add the names to these constellations. And now you can see, if you're familiar with the constellations, you can tell which stars are which. But I'm moving this much like I did on the Stellarium access, but left clicking my mouse and just dragging it around. So this is one of the things that you can do. In addition, you have a search capability. You can search for anything that you would like to see, but the most let's see what no I had another YouTube video, but because of the breakup of that first video, I'm not going to impose that on you again. So let's just try looking at a few things here. Let's try to decipher what this little splotch is in the middle of the screen. This is so-called Wizard Nebula. I'm not sure I see a wizard there, but in any event, that's the name of it. So let's go into the finder scope and see what we can figure out. Again, as in the Stellarium, we can look it up not only on Wikipedia, but a number of these other sky dictionaries or Wikipedia doesn't have an article about that, so we're not going to be able to do that. But in any event, this is a very good way to take a look at what's going on. In addition, even though I'm not going to expose you to any more of the YouTube videos, when you are exploring this thing, you can do it by searching YouTube just on the name Worldwide Telescope, and it will bring up a number of different videos taken with the Worldwide Telescope and these capabilities. Let me drive you to one more tour here, which I like, and that's this one. By the way, they all have star ratings,
Oh.
just like everything else on the internet. But let's take a look at. If you get a chance to search YouTube, look for the Saturn movie, because that's one of my favorites. It shows the Cassini web probe that started in 1997 and toured Saturn and several of its 274 moons, as well as the rings and stunning visuals of the Saturn planet. But let's see what this guy looks like. We're back to the Whirlpool Galaxy. These tours, some of them are narrated, like the first one you saw. Some of them just have the captions. Some of them just have music. But they're all quite interesting. Up close and personal. Well, I think I'll end my prepared presentation at this point, but if there's anything you would like to try out and see, we'll give it a go. Otherwise, I want to thank you for coming, and if you do try either of these software apps out in the future and run into difficulties, I'm more than happy to try to help you out. I've been running this for several months now, and it is very complex, so I don't pretend to know everything about it, but I may be able to help you get started anyway. And all you need to do is to reply to your invitation or reminder for this email, the email that reminds you of this meeting to me, and I'll be glad to sit down with you or meet you in the computer room or whatever to help you get started on this. Are there any more questions?
Dick, is a worldwide telescope an app, or do you have to go to the link?
Both. It is both an app. You can load it down on your own computer, or let me demonstrate how to find it. Let's type in that's going to point me to the app, but what I wanted to do is to, let's try it this way. That's it, worldwidetelescope.org, not org. This internet, for some reason, is pretty slow, except for the worldwide app issue. You do have to take care of your cookies here, but that's not.
I noticed one screen that said sign in. You have to sign in to use it?
You do not have to sign in, but your sign in basically, if you're using on a Windows computer, is your Windows sign in. It goes directly to Microsoft. As a matter of fact, I was having a little trouble with that. Anyway, this is worldwidetelescope.org, and WWT web client is the way to run it on your browser. Same thing. The only thing is you've got everything for your browser, but okay. Just this time. He wants to know where I'm at. This may not do it because I don't have a GPS on my computer, but in any event, now if you go to view and toggle full screen, it's basically the same thing. You can scroll in and out with your scroll window. There's also a and now I can't find it, but there's a little icon that comes up in the corner of the screen and allows you to move, so you don't have to rely on your mouse. You can do page up and page down. Well, since I can't see my keyboard, I can't really demonstrate that too well. But in any event, this is basically the same thing. This has got my location, view from this location. It looks a little different, but that's the way to get started. worldwidetelescope.org, and you'll be all ready to go. Any more questions? Let's try it. I think it has been throwing an error on this. Oh, I am signed in. It must have already remembered my password, and I'm not sure what if anything signing in gets you, except it gets Microsoft to notice that you're using it. Otherwise, Microsoft has very little input on it anymore, but it was originally, as I say, designed by their research group and supported for a number of years before it was turned over to the AAS.
Dick, have you heard from anybody who uses a Mac just as easy?
I have run it on the Mac in the computer room without any difficulty. Just like this, run it as a web client.
Yeah.
I got it on my iPad right now, it's okay.
Yeah. But you can see with all these menu items, it gets pretty busy when you try to do it on a phone anyway, with a small. As a matter of fact, I can read these easily, but on my phone I cannot. But you're welcome to give it a try on your phone if you wish, if you don't have the capability. But if you're serious about using it and don't have a PC, I suggest using ones in a computer room because they have stunning displays in there that make the displays very outstanding. Anything else?
Dick,
Uh-huh.
with the menu underneath underneath the favorites bar, it says communities and news settings.
I'm sorry, I'm
Communities.
having difficulty hearing you.
Okay, that bar there, go over to view. You may be able to turn off one of those menus.
You're right. That's the only one that you can turn on and off, and that's what this is. This shows what is showing on the. Like I say, I always like to have the constellation names, but in case you couldn't see that in the video, these are all the different data sets that's available. There are 2 digitized sky surveys. I'm not sure what Pan-STAR, Gaia is a Gaia telescope, obviously. I don't know. BLSS is low frequency radios, more radios, Planck cosmic microwave background. That's what that is.
Pasted it over the what you're looking at.
Yeah. So
That looks like one of the posters you used to blur your eyes, and you can see a figure in there, you know,
Oh.
20 years ago, or maybe 50 now.
This is supposedly what's left over after the Big Bang that permeates the entire universe.
Looks a bit like Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. We print it.
Let me give that Saturn video a shot. Let me try something else. I'm not sure why the internet is so slow here, because the speed test tended to give us the pretty high rating, so.
Telescopes around the world. 200. There's going to go another telescope.
Maybe a YouTube has to go to it.
Overseas what did I do? I didn't. I was out there hammering or
There's a Cat 5 plug in the floor display, and I'm not sure that's working at all. But generally, in my Wi-Fi in my apartment, the YouTube videos play. Here's the one I'm looking for. These are all images taken by the spacecraft between 1997 and 2000 or something. These are depictions of all the orbits that it took in terms of the NASA discovery. Moon's orbit. Some of the larger By the way, this program is installed in the observatory, so as we take photographs of what we can see with our scope, we can compare them to these.